Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about a bunch of manga that are coming out in the second half of 2026. Normally I like to get this video out earlier in the year, kind of before July begins, but things happened, so you're getting it now. Also, this is not going to be all of the notable new releases that are coming out in the second half of the year, just the ones that I am personally most interested in, and as a result of that, I'm going to apologize in advance because like 80% of these are horror manga, so if you don't have any interest in horror manga, probably just skip this video. And I also don't have as many new titles as I was expecting, so I am going to talk about some exciting releases that are not new releases, maybe final volumes or something like that. And in fact, the first one of these that I want to talk about is an example of that. So we have the third volume of Kishibe Rohan, Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan. This is actually already out. It came out on July 7th, and the reason I'm including it in this video is because I didn't even know there was a third volume of this coming out. I thought it was kind of just a completed series. I mean, it's just short stories focusing on Rohan, so it could very easily be continued, but I just wasn't expecting it until I was doing one of my pre-orders on Barnes & Noble, and I saw it there, and I was very surprised because I don't know how long it's been since Volume 2 came out, but it's been years. So I'm very excited for this. I actually already have it. It's over there. I could have showed it to you. But yeah, this one came out on July 7th if you missed it. And then on July 28th, we have Seeds of Anxiety, Volume 1. This is by the same author as PTSD Radio, which is probably my favorite horror manga ever. So I feel like this is kind of similar in that it's a short story collection of horror manga. In fact, I will read the synopsis for you. We'll do that for these new titles. So here's a synopsis. I'm just reading it from Amazon. It says, down a dark hallway, behind a closed door, or perhaps even right beside you on the train, in the cracks of normal everyday life, the supernatural has taken root, spreading its tendrils into the most peculiar places and revealing itself in the most startling ways. Contained within is a collection of eerie vignettes where the horrors of the hidden world creep into the light and drag the unsuspecting into darkness. Whether any of the seeds recorded here take root in reality depends on the power of your imagination. So, like I said, I love PTSD Radio. It was so creepy. I think that's the only manga I've ever read where I literally felt like I couldn't read it in the dark. So I'm hoping this goes in that same direction because then I will love it for sure. And this one, along with pretty much all of the new releases that I'm going to mention, I will be reviewing eventually in a tri-volume video. I like to do those videos. They're pretty fun. And so we'll take a look at all these, including this one. Next up is one from Living the Line called Mother, Please Don't Give Birth to a Monster. This on Amazon is scheduled to release on September 15th. It might come out earlier. If you pre-order from their website, I usually get their volumes earlier. But this one sounds pretty gross, so we'll read it to you. So it says, Moo, Lord Mammon cries out, ready for her meal. Moo, baby sister cries out, miserable and cold. As a young teen, sweet Miki learns a bizarre truth about her family. For centuries, they have harnessed half-cow, half-human beasts known as Kudon for their wealth and power, and soon another shall be born. The hour approaches. Her mother moans in pain as the contractions begin, but all poor Miki can plead is, Mother, please don't give birth to a monster. So this one, it seems, was originally published in 1988 at the end of the classic era of horror manga. So very excited to read this. I've been really enjoying these classic horror manga. Even if I don't love the actual story, I just like reading a part of horror manga history. So very excited for this one. Next up on September 15th is Sound of a Blink by Shuzo Oshimi. I'm not sure if you can see back there, but I'm obviously a big fan of Shuzo Oshimi. So I believe this one is either semi-autobiographical or entirely autobiographical in that it follows his own life. I'm going to read the synopsis to you. It's very short. But it says, a raw, intimate coming-of-age memoir by renowned manga creator Shuzo Oshimi. How do you live when each day might be your brother's last? Life is going well for Shuzo. He's in college, has a serious girlfriend, and just won his first manga award. But when his younger brother is diagnosed with a brain tumor, Shuzo is sucked back into the complicated family dynamics of his childhood. So my favorite part about reading Shuzo Oshimi's manga is how much of himself he puts in there. Obviously, he does a lot of self-insert, but also when I'm reading his characters, I just feel like I'm learning something about him, whether he intends that to be the case or not. I feel like I know too much about this person. So to have an actual manga where he intends to talk about his life or his brother's life or whatever, I'm very interested in reading that because Shuzo Oshimi is a very interesting person to me, so I'd like to learn more about him in whatever way I can. The next one I want to talk about is one that I've heard buzz about for a very long time, like at least 5 years at this point. And I remember in the Manga Tube days of old, I call it before we even called it Manga Tube, I feel like people were still talking about this manga, eager for it to be licensed. So now it's finally coming out on September 29th, and it is Jagon. So I will read this synopsis to you. It says, police officer Shintaro Jagasaki lives a stable life with the girl he's dated for years. Their future seems all mapped out, marriage, a family, children, but it all feels unbearably dull. With a few screws loose and his frequent fantasy to open fire on civilians to show for it, Jagasaki's mind is anything but stable. Then, out of the blue, people suddenly begin to contort into monsters driven by primal urges to commit violence. And as chance has it, Jagasaki also gains a grotesque body morphing power which transforms his right hand into a fleshy gun. A newly made monster and mentally unstable, Jagasaki becomes an anti-hero of ambiguous morals and dark impulses. It says a little bit more about the author, who is apparently the author of Blue Lock. I didn't know that, actually, until just now when I read this. It also says it's for fans of Attack on Titan, Alice in Borderland, and The Boys. I like 2 of those things, so I will be interested in reading this. Obviously, it seems like the main character is very, very flawed, so we'll see how that goes. I have been enjoying more manga and books that explore a character archetype like that, so we'll see how this goes, but I will give it a try and let you know what I think of it. Next up, also on September 29th, is the newest deluxe edition for Go Tanabe's H.P. Lovecraft manga. This one is adapting the Dunwich Horror. I'm not going to read you the synopsis of this one because I personally don't want to read it. I don't want to know what's going on here. I've read all of the ones of these that have been released so far, and I've enjoyed them for the most part, especially Mountains of Madness, which was the first deluxe edition in this collection. So I'm very excited to read this one. I will probably read it as soon as I get it, or maybe save it for October, but we'll see. I don't really prefer deluxe editions normally, but I do think in this case, with the very unique art style that Go Tanabe has, it really works in these big pages with these dark inks. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Next is perhaps the one I'm most excited about on this list, and it's not a new manga. It is a final volume in a manga that I've been reading for years. I love this manga so much. So on October 6th, the final volume of Vinland Saga is coming out. This is volume 15. I actually think I haven't read the previous volume, volume 14. I think I stopped at volume 13 because it was so good and it felt like a good stopping point. But maybe when this one comes out, I will reread through the entire series, which I've done a couple times, and finish it off, see how it ends. I haven't read the scans or anything, so I don't know how it ends, but I'm very eager to read it. And if you haven't tried this out and you like historical with very complex characters and character development, amazing character development, and action scenes as well, definitely check this out. It's so good. Next up is another horror manga that I've been anticipating for years. I don't even know how long I've been waiting for this one, but I knew it was released in German, quite a few years ago, and so I saw some buzz about it then. I can't speak German or anything, but I knew about it. So I'm so excited that we're finally getting it released in English. This one is being released by Kana. So this is Hideout. It's coming out on October 13th. So I will read the synopsis to you. The cave beckons. Deep in the rainforest of a southern resort island where bones of forgotten soldiers abound, another corpse is nothing special. A young couple grieves the death of their young son, but the husband sets out in search of a waterfall said to bring those who see it newfound happiness. The wife is a skeptic, opposed to the trek, but anything to start afresh, she says, so they try it. Anything. Then it says, a fast-paced survival horror thriller manga with twists on every corner for fans of the movie The Shining and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it also says it has full color pages. So that's awesome. This is just a single volume manga, so no big commitment, and I'm so excited for this. I can't wait. Next up is another Living the Line title under their Smudge imprint, as all of their horror manga are, at least. This one is scheduled to come out October 20th, and it's called The Human Clock. Papa, Mama, please don't be surprised. A year ago, my organs were replaced with gears and springs. Tadashi is the lone son of a watchmaker. Clocks are his only friends. Ever since a nightmarish bicycle accident, he fears going to school. So his parents hire him a special tutor, not a man, but a mustachioed pocket watch. That's funny. He, too, fails to improve Tadashi's grades, though gifts him a magical wristwatch capable of transporting its wearer to a frighteningly surreal land of clock people. As the automatons begin to turn on their makers, Tadashi decides it's best to abandon his uneasy humanity and bestow his soul to the TikToks. Okay, that sounds like my kind of thing. Sounds like robots adjacent. The kind of line between machinery and humanity. So very eager for that one. I will read that right away probably. Next up, we have another horror manga, this time from Tokyo Pop, which I was surprised by. This is one I'm not sure I'm going to pre-order. I might wait to see how reviews go before I pick this one up, but it's called Shiban Kaburi, The Masked God, Volume 1, and it comes out on October 20th. So the synopsis of this one is pretty short. I assume they're trying to keep it vague, but I will read it to you. It says, a chilling horror manga set in a small, remote Japanese town about a tragic event that awakens the god of retribution. It's never a good sign, though, when the synopsis has a typo in it. But anyway, when the forbidden taboo was broken, the town was sealed off, and it awakened. Shiban Kaburi is a small, isolated town located away from the big city life and society. A tragic murder awakens their heavily protected god of retribution, creating panic and horrors that haunt the once idyllic town. So, pretty vague, but I will go ahead and give it a try. I do like the kind of isolated, rural Japanese setting for horror manga. It really works out very well from the ones I've read so far. So, very interested in this one. So, next one, I'm not sure this is a horror manga, but it definitely feels like it will be very dark. This is by the same author as Sensei's Pious Lie, which I read a few years ago now, and I thought it was very interesting. I'm not sure what I thought of the ending. This one is called Wandering Cat's Cage, and it is scheduled to come out on October 27th. On Amazon, it says it's published by Takumi Graphics, but I'm pretty sure it's just published by Fantagraphics. They announced it a few years ago now, so it's been delayed a couple times. So I will read the synopsis to you. It's kind of a long synopsis. I hope it doesn't give away too much, but let's go ahead and read it. It says, in Akane Torikai's Wandering Cat's Cage, it is the near future. Only a few women are still able to menstruate, and even fewer men will be born to them. Reproduction is limited to medical intervention controlled from on high, and the structures and lives of the past hold no weight. They are only hinted at through the remaining scraps of a world that no longer exists. Life can be good, though, if you fall in line, and the women of the city live bright, happy, tightly controlled lives. But complete obedience isn't for everyone. For the women across the river, who live in a run-down shanty town, viewing the opulence of the city from afar each night, life is different. It is humble and often dangerous, but it is free. It is here that Sanada, a young acupuncturist, lives with the mysterious Reiho, the only male she's ever met, and who sells himself to the rich women who sneak across the river for something they've never experienced. The two form a small family, taking in other young women ousted from the city. But a real, living, breathing male might be too precious to leave to the shabby streets. When Reiho is kidnapped at gunpoint and taken to the breeding program in the city, Sanada must join with the other outcasts to try and rescue him, and learn the difficult truths of love, self-actualization, society, community, safety, and the future itself. This manga clearly is going to have a lot to say about society and gender roles and stuff like that, which their other work, Sensei's Pious Lie, also did. So, very interested to read this one and see how that goes. I'm not sure if it's a volume 1 or a single volume. It doesn't have a volume 1 on the cover here, so we'll see, but I will read it either way. Next up on November 3rd is the Blackjack Deluxe Edition. So this is Blackjack by Osamu Tezuka coming out in a deluxe edition. However, I don't think it's all 17 volumes. I'm pretty sure it's like selected stories, like the best of, pretty much. And I think there's only going to be 3 of them. I might be wrong about that. But I'm actually currently reading Blackjack, and I know some people are really upset about this, and I totally understand why. Obviously, you want to complete the entire collection. Why wouldn't they just re-release the 17 volumes or whatever? But since I'm currently reading it, I can kind of understand this decision. Obviously, we want the full collection just to keep it available for people to read. But I do kind of understand that they wouldn't want to make a deluxe edition for all 17 volumes of this. But yeah, I'm about halfway through the series right now, and I was definitely anticipating picking this up. Now, we'll see how it goes. If it's only going to be 3 volumes, maybe. It's not my favorite Osamu Tezuka manga I've read so far, but I am enjoying it for the most part. But it is just basically a collection of short stories. So it does kind of make sense to me to just choose the best one of those to put in a deluxe collection. But I understand the criticisms for sure. And the last one that I have, I'm sure I'm missing some pre-orders that I've made already or ones that I just have forgotten about. But the last one I have is coming out on November 10th, and it is a re-release of Hideshi Hino's Lullabies from Hell, or A Lullaby from Hell is what they're calling it. In this volume, this is published by Drawn and Quarterly. So I've read 2 works by Hideshi Hino at this point. I've read A Town of Pigs, which was good, and I've read Panorama of Hell, which was amazing. I love that manga so much, especially the ending. So I'm very excited to read this. I really wanted to get my hands on more Hideshi Hino, but the ones that are in like the Hino horror are out of print and really hard to get. I know that Living the Line, actually I forgot Living the Line. I will have to add it in here. I know that Living the Line is releasing one as well, so I will be picking that up. But this one is Lullaby from Hell. I think it's been released at least once before. In fact, I know it's been released at least one time before, maybe twice though. So the synopsis here on Amazon actually isn't even a synopsis. It's just talking about Hideshi Hino's very grotesque art style and how he's a pioneering voice in horror manga before Junji Ito. So not much to talk about here. I don't know what it's about, but I will read it and probably enjoy it. So those were all the mostly horror manga that I wanted to talk about today. If I missed anything that you're very excited about, please leave those down below. Some of them I probably just missed, some of them maybe I didn't even remember were coming out. That's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.